How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Ron Walls with Ballin' Down South. I'm glad to have another college coach here on today, and definitely you guys are definitely gonna know who she is once she get off this interview today. I got a head coach out of North Carolina for women's basketball out of Wilmington, North Carolina. She is definitely has a good resume that you guys are gonna see. I'm gonna let her talk for a little bit on that resume, but it is just that long. We can sit here all morning, all evening, and definitely talk about her resume. And I can tell you this: none other than head basketball coach at Wilmington over in North Carolina. How you doing, Coach Barefoot?
I'm doing great, Ron. Thanks for having me on your show.
I can tell you this, Coach. It has been a pleasure to bring you on. I was looking at your resume the other day, and I was talking to one of the guys, and I'm like, man, she has an awesome resume. And you know, when I tweeted out yesterday your graphic that you was gonna be on the show, I saw a former WNBA Hall of Famer on there retweeted, and I said, man, I guess she knows Coach or she played for her or whatever. But I can tell you this: just go ahead and tell people a little bit about who Karen Barefoot is and your travels coming up through the coaching ranks and when you started.
Yeah, Karen Barefoot definitely started at 6 years old, and just fell in love with that game. But I threw that ball up in the backyard and it went in. I had to play my whole journey in life with guys all the way to high school. Was great enough to do really well things in high school and allowed me to play at the next level in college. And I'm telling you, it's been a blessing. I mean, it hasn't been easy because if it's easy, everybody would probably do it, right? But
Yes, man.
it's just what I love. It's what I love to do. I'm the person that I talk about putting knee pads on, and I'm the funny girl that put the headband on. I mean, I just got out there and rolled my sleeves up and got after it. And when I was in college in 1994, I didn't know that I would be on ESPN or Sports Illustrated for becoming the first player in NCAA history to score 2,000 points, 1,000 assists. Didn't even think about it. Didn't even know it was going to happen. Like, honestly, I just love what I do, and led the nation 4 years in a row in assists as a college player. So I always had that vision. I always wanted to see people make plays. I always was that ultimate teammate. I played AU basketball with Boo Williams Elite. And then from there, at 22 years old, I had an opportunity to either play professionally in Sweden or start a Division III college program up from scratch. Some athletic director believed in me with no experience and said, "Hey, I like the way that you lead on that floor and what you did when you were a player. Would you like to start this program?" So from that point
Wow.
on, yeah, 25 years ago, I started at Division III, built a program to mopping floors, driving vans, 6 winning seasons, 3 Final Fours, won a national championship. And then I traveled on to Hickory, North Carolina, and built Lenore Ryan University's program up. They'd never won before, had the same kind of mentality of, getting after it, high fives and floor burns, and got their first championship, back-to-back championships. I went to Elon and helped build their program, got their first 21 season, turned it around, had their first WBI appearance. I went back to Old Dominion, which is a historical program. I had a chance to even work with Wendy Leary as an assistant for 3 years. So when I got to be a head Division I coach, I was ready. Did some great things at Old Dominion. And now I'm here. My journey is at UNCW, trying to build this program where my father's from, my uncle, and everybody. So, 430 overall career
Wow.
wins. But, honestly, at the end of the day, it's about our student athletes, and I just want to leave footprints in their lives. I talk about that all the time, and it's who you do it with and why you do it. So I've just been, I haven't worked a day in my whole life, to be honest with you. I love this game so much. I'm so passionate.
Well, I can tell you this. One thing I saw on your resume, three-time Hall of Famer. Can you explain that? I was like, wait a minute now. I'm going to get Coach to answer that question.
I don't even know how. Like, I really don't. I mean, as a player and a coach, and be able to have that, all I can say is I do it with people. I don't receive awards as far as just me being me. You have to surround yourself with the right people and do it the right way. And like I said, I just love this game. I'm just so fortunate to be able to leave a legacy of, building championship programs, and where, the buy-in is important. That, what you emphasize is what you get. Being able to go out there every day and give your all to them on and off the floor to push them to their max. And then at the end of the day, it's just to make sure that they graduate and they go on and give their gift back to the world. And that makes me proud. That makes me proud to be a life coach. I kind of enjoy that because at the time when you're coaching, you don't realize the impact you make. It's the later on phone calls, it's the invitations to the weddings and, things like that. So, I just love this game and it's been great.
Well, last season I know you got a couple of seniors that have left your program and went on. Two particular seniors in particular, Gigi Smith and Lacey Suggs. They're like a tandem together on the court. I actually saw them play. I saw some of your highlights playing here right now. Speak about your seniors that just left your program.
Yeah, it was incredible. It feels like yesterday when I came into the program, which was 3 years ago, and wanted to build the program the right way. And Lacey Suggs was a player that I didn't know anything about the team. And when I had my first kind of like tryout, everybody's, the first day when you're putting them through workouts, ball handling, shooting, defense, rebounding, Lacey Suggs stood out. Meanwhile, when that was going on, Gigi Smith transferred in with me. So from Old Dominion. And so Gigi had a chance to sit out for a year and kind of watch and lead and make them better that first year, 3 years ago. But when I got my first meeting, I didn't realize when I sat down with my staff that Lacey, I was like, man, she gets every rebound. She's first in sprint. She gets after it, man. I mean, flying all over the floor. She wasn't perfect, but her motor was like who I am. I'm Red Bull energy every day. I'm high-fiving, floor burning. I'm into it. And she matched my energy and didn't realize that she was walk-on. So we built the program from her being a walk-on, and eventually we gave her a scholarship, which was a really cool story when you Google her name. It went viral, and over 50,000 people enjoyed that story because it just tells, you never know who's watching. People do notice her work. And to me, she was somebody that really, really every day made the team just rise. She set that standard of really what it takes. So I couldn't be more proud of her. Student Scholar Athlete of the Year this past year. And Gigi back-to-back conference, all conference. I'm just looking for them to go on to be great leaders in the world now. I'm excited about what their future is ahead of them. I think Gigi's going to take the professional route, and Lacey wants to get in medical sales. So just proud that they've been able to value their education and, being able to help really try to, turn this program around. We've had some highs, we've had some lows, but they have done a great job for us.
Wow, that's amazing. Talk about some of the kids that were on your roster last year that are actually returning, coming back to you.
Yeah, so one of them is Carol Ann Abusick. She's 6'5", and she's gotten stronger, and I think that her post presence has really helped us out. We always talk about paint touches, whether it's drives or whether it's post feeds and things like that. And I think whenever we can get her the ball, it really changes everything. The spacing on the floor, there's just so many things that she can do. She's got that Kareem Abdul hook shot, which, nowadays a lot of people don't have really a true five. So when you mix in her coming back with Paige Powell, who's an athlete, with Jessica Munoz, who can really stretch it from the four position, we've got a lot of our front court coming back, which are bigs, so we're very excited about. And our newcomers are our back court, which is a lot of good guard play. So, man, I'm fired up. I'm hoping every day that we just grow together and get back on that floor.
And talk about those two transfers you got coming in, Camellia Downs and Zanotica Downs. I don't know. I don't think they're related or not, but talk about them because I've looked at their resume and they both can get up and down the court quickly and definitely put up numbers. They like Camellia Downs. She was a first team All Arkansas J Community College Conference, NJCAA All Region. I mean, you go on and on. 6A Player of the Year when she coming out of high school. I mean, I'm gonna let you talk about them, Coach.
They gonna make me look good. Nah, they really can get it. I mean, can really score the basketball. Can really defend. I want to play more up tempo. It's something that I'm used to. I mean, as a college player back in the day, I pressed and I got after it. I had a coach that really, really wanted to play hard and get after it and get the ball in my hands to distribute, and I could score the basketball. So the 5 places that I've coached at, I've had that kind of same mentality where I really want to get up and down the floor. My philosophy is, I believe that the women's basketball game struggles from free throw line to free throw line because of transition defense. Where if you think
Wow.
about it, the guys, they don't really have much of an issue because they want to get back because they don't want to get dunked on. They're like guarding up, making sure they're 5-on-5 because they don't want to get dunked on. So for me, I want to attack the weakness in the game. And I've always been, it starts from a rebound, it starts from a defense, it starts from a loose ball, a tip, a swipe. So we track all those things. So what these two do is they really get after it and have that kind of mentality. And I think that we're going to have so many more possessions this year because they play that way. They're not just great scorers, Ron. They are heck of like rebounders as guards, which is hard to see nowadays. And they really just get after it. And they're not afraid to take charges, things like that. And that's really what I like about them coming in. And we got 3 freshmen that are coming in too that I'm really
Wow.
excited about that will really complement our backcourt.
Now I know everybody in the country. I asked one of the coaches yesterday about the Michael Jordan story, the last dance about him and the Chicago Bulls. What can you take from that, dealing with current players you're gonna have coming back on your roster, new
Yeah.
players coming on your roster? What will that how can that translate to your basketball program there at UNC Wilmington?
Well, you know what? I was big Michael Jordan fan today. I used to think that if I wore those shoes, I'd jump a little higher or I'd hang a little better, but that wasn't the case. But I just really admired his competitiveness. But I think it does change this generation. Um, Gosh, unbelievable! Like I can't believe how much I think that they really did not know his competitiveness. His desire to get better, his eye contact, his will to want to win. That he's not afraid to get in your face to a teammate and hold them accountable. That he wanted to win, and that the fact that he had his coach's back. He wanted to. He was going down with Phil Jackson. I mean, he was just loyal. He was hardworking. His competitiveness was off the chart, and I think his respect for his peers and people around him. I mean, it made him better. I mean, look at what Kobe Bryant said about him. I don't win 5 championships without him. He pushed him, and so I mean, what an example! And I think that it is an eye opener. If you're not playing this every day or going back watching it over and over again, then you don't love this game. I'm serious, because how can this generation, our kids, not fall in love with this series? I mean, it really defines what basketball is all about. I mean, and I go back to memory of watching those rivalries. Watching the Pistons and Chicago, and just the battles that everybody went on. The fact that Dennis Rodman was the ultimate rebounder, and I always tell my players, be an All-American at your role. And boy, did he do it. He was an All-American at his role. He knew his role, and how you had to have a leader like Michael to make him understand that and be beside him and accept his differences. How many times when people don't accept differences and they allow the negativity in the locker room, or they allow the negativity? So I just think there's so many lessons that you can learn from the Last Dance. And man, I wish would go keep going. I want this thing to keep going all the way through because I mean, it just was so powerful.
Well, I know they were saying, on ESPN that maybe they need to do it when he went and played with the Wizards before he finally stopped playing basketball in the NBA. But one thing, Coach, with young kids that may be watching this interview today, young ladies that's coming up that may want to be a part of your program or any college program with women's basketball, what would you suggest that they do during this pandemic? I heard you say about keeping up your game, dribble that basketball, work on your skill set. What are some of the things that you looking to a player before trying to recruit them?
Yeah, I mean, Ron, that was a great question. I really believe right now that it kind of puts a pause on everybody. So you're really thinking, and I think that when people get bored, you get more creative because you do have a lot of time on your hands. You're thinking a lot, which I think honestly that's really good. So I think right now for kids, make a vision board. You know, start looking at your goals right now. You know, make sure that you know every day that you're getting better. You know, whether it's eating better, whether it's reading a book, whatever is going to grow your mind, whatever is going to make this powerful, you know, and just, I think that everybody can work on themselves. If they can work on this, whether it's sleeping, because a lot of times you'll see a lot of people, you know, that on the phones, it's not a lot, whether it's saying, hey, I'm going to take time to have a healthy lifestyle of sleeping, writing my goals down, eating better. You know, what can I do with what I have in the house? I mean, is it doing push-ups? Is it, you know, do you have a hoop in the backyard? If you don't, are you doing flips with the ball? I just think that if you don't come back a better ball handler, then something's wrong, because you can dribble that ball up and down the street all day long, right? All day
Yeah, that's
long.
right.
And so I just think that, and the fact that this is a time for everybody, no matter what level you're at. Do you want to play at the next level? You know, are you in elementary school, middle school, high school? Where are you at? What are your goals? And then if you want to go to college and play at the next level, no school's too big or small. No school's too big or small. Just like me coaching, I've coached all levels, 3, 2, 1. I've been a head coach at Division 3, 2, and this is my third Division 1 job. And I love what I do, building programs, growing people every day, growing people. I think that people have to understand is that what is the fit for you? Because right now you can write them down and then you can start researching them and then making contact and getting on the phone with your coach or initial calls. If you're not getting recruited by the school that you want, this is the time to do it. I can't tell you how many times I'm on the phone every day. And as a coach, I can't see every player in the world sometimes. I mean, you know, like, we can't be everywhere. You know, we've got recruiting rules and things like that. So I may miss out on recruiting a really good player. Just think about that for a minute. Lacey Suggs, she was a walk on. And I happened to go in and practice and saw her and go, wow. So I think that even if you want to go to college and you want to play at the next level, and they haven't, you know, called you or whatever, put them on your list, and why not reach out? You know, send some
Well,
video.
real quick, coach, before I let you get off here, I asked another coach, social media, bad or good? Talk about just real quickly things kids should and should not do on social media.
Well, it's your resume. It's who you are. So, you know, keep it positive and don't put something out there that, you know, your family wouldn't want to see. You know, be very, very respectful. You know, it can be a good thing, okay? You know, but at the same time, don't let it consume you. Take it in doses. Put it down when you got to put it down. Work on yourself, grow yourself, make yourself better, but don't let that define you. Because at the end of the day, I want everybody to work on themselves and come out of this stronger than ever. And I think together we all can. I think coaches can. Every person can.
And you know what? And I tell kids all the time, that's your brand. That's your brand. You're
100%.
building it. So, and it's gonna follow you wherever you go. You know. And I listen to UConn coach talk about stuff. Women's basketball coach talk about stuff like that, and it's gonna follow
Yeah.
you. So I mean, that's good. And that coach. So what's on the agenda, and what's the next step for your program?
Well, we want to put that first ever championship banner up there, you know. I'm just saying, basketball's been around since 1973 here at UNCW, so we're just trying to work hard and, you know, win the day. I'm trying to win one conversation at a time. Like tonight, I've got a leadership council meeting with my team, with the upper class, and we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna challenge them to be creative. I'm gonna ask them some questions because I want them to grow. Our new ones coming in, and again, every day is a day to get better and get ahead. So that's what's so fun. You just got to stay creative. So a lot's going on, Ron, at our end. We're trying to keep everybody motivated. You know, we're trying to do some things, and I'm just trying to give that championship effort every day. And at the same time, I'm trying to help others. You know, I enjoy mentoring other people. So, you know, after this call, if anybody wants to reach out to me, email me, barefootk@uncw.edu. That's what I've been kind of doing right now, because there's a lot of people that really love this game and they want to get into it, or how can they get into being a coach or director of ops, or what are the how can you be better at your current position, or what could you do more? I've been around this business for a long time, and one thing about it is I'm willing, more than willing, to help anybody, especially if you love this game and especially if you're going to impact student athletes. I'm all in.
All right, well, Coach, we definitely appreciate you coming on the network. Coach, ladies and gentlemen, this is head coach Karen Barefoot with UNC Wilmington women's basketball.